Listen to this timeless quote by Shakespeare. It reads, "All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances. And one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages." Our lives are a form of play. And the people in our lives are responding to us based on the energy we are embodying. And there's this craze right now that I want to talk about how this fits into the deeper parts of reality, what it teaches us about how we're showing up in the world, how we can go from what is called an NPC, a non-player character, into that of actually being the star of our own movie and directing our life and creating our life in the direction we actually want it to go. When I learned what I share with you in this video, it shifted everything for me. It allowed me to stop tuning to everyone else, to remain under the hypnosis of what my dad or mom wanted me to do. It allowed me to start thinking for myself, to individuate. It's called individuation. When you detach from what mom and dad want you to do subconsciously. And when you begin embodying a new version of yourself, that's when reality really begins to change. Now, what reality is showing us more and more every year as life goes on is that life is a form of simulation or virtual reality. Like, simulation, we think we're in a computer and, it's got more of a negative context, but even virtual reality, like what we think of as baseline reality, maybe, we experience reality through the 5 senses. We can touch, taste, smell, hear, and all of that. However, what happens is if we stay stuck in that energy of believing that's all there is, and we believe that this is who we are from a limited perspective, then we continue to stay stuck in that personality or in that reality. And what Elon Musk has said recently, not that he's some world-renowned physicist or scientist or anything, but doing the research on what quantum physics shows us, it's very, very, very unlikely that this of what we experience is baseline reality. Think about it. Already within that of virtual reality, you can put on virtual reality headset and literally believe you are somewhere else. Literally feel like it. You have ones where you're walking on the edge of a building and you literally feel like you're there, and anxiety will get invoked. I did once that my cousin brought over when I was at my dad's house in Vegas, and I had this, this whole thing going, and I was underwater in this like fish tank. I was inside this ocean actually, but in this tank where there were sharks close by. I was like, whoa, I can see my hands. It's just so cool. And then what happens is the shark comes, tears the front off of the cage, and I could actually feel anxiety. I know it's a game, I still felt anxiety. Because the mind doesn't know the difference. If we're already at a place where we're within 100 years of technology where we probably don't know the difference between what the technology is and what reality is, who's to say at higher levels of consciousness we haven't already logged into the game of life to go through this experience? Now, when we talk about NPC, non-player character, this is a metaphor that a lot of younger generation TikTok uses to talk about people that aren't thinking for themselves, are just doing what's popular, don't have an individual sense of autonomy, have a passive way of moving through life. And unfortunately, this is most of reality, and there could be some form of control that keeps people as puppet masters, keeping people going in those limiting, disempowering states of being. Because people that are in fear and anger are much easier to control than people that are empowered. Now, I'm going to be talking about the power of 10,000 plus people that have been into a deep level of their subconscious mind, going through a specific process of revealing what their subconscious mind says about reality. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about how to go from NPC to BDE, Big Daddy energy. If you're a woman or whatever, just take on the archetype of daddy or a boss energy. Feeling like you have the power to choose who you are. You are no longer a non-player character after you watch this video. But before, you might be. I'm just kidding. But after this video, you will feel more empowered inside of yourself and knowing that people are literally responding to you based on the character, the energy you are emitting. I remember that I would do this with my friends when I was in high school. It's gonna sound childish. I would do it. It was an experiment that shows this whole NPC thing to you. What we would do is we would go to that, of this theater, and sometimes we'd be running late to this theater. There was a back way that employees could use that worked in the mall. What I would tell them, and I've done this a few times, if you just walk into the back of any place you go, but you walk in there with confidence as if you're meant to be there, and you're not looking around at everyone else, where am I supposed to be? Am I supposed to be here or no? People would just assume you're supposed to be there. So what I would do is I'd say, oh, just follow me. We would walk through this whole entire back area of the mall behind all these other shops and stores. And if someone saw us, we would say hi to them. We would not be like, we're in the wrong place. We would make eye contact, smile, and just keep walking as if we were supposed to be there. Guess what? It was never a big deal until you go with that one friend that's all self-conscious and is like, I don't know, I think we're doing something guilty. And then what happens? Then someone noticed and said something. It was funny how that never happened until the person that was playing like the fearful person that wasn't supposed to be there, then it was obvious. But remember, people respond to you based on the energy that you embody. So if you change your energy and you give yourself permission to be more natural and relaxed as if that's who you are, people respond to you differently. You could literally do this and like go to the back stock room of a store. Like I could go to the back, like I don't work at Neiman's. I used to work at Nordstrom's and Women's Shoes. I go to Neiman Marcus or Nordstrom's, a store I've never been to, like the one here in Austin, for example. I could walk into the back stock room with confidence. I bet you no one would say anything because there's so many people that work there. Unless I was like, huh, and they'd be like, why are you back here? If I'm like, am I supposed to be back here? People literally are just pinging off of the energy you're embodying. It's crazy. So when you change your energy and you relax and you take ownership of your life and you stop being so passive, you start to create a gravity within your own life. So taking back your star role, remember, if you treat someone like a celebrity, they treat you like a fan. When you start treating yourself as the star of your own movie, it changes everything. If you're being the cameo in someone else's movie, they're gonna feel that off of you and they're gonna treat you that way. You must become the star of your own movie. Take ownership of your own energy. Now, when we talk about our reality, let's talk about the 10,000 subconscious mind thing I was talking about. Dolores Cannon, who has a hypnosis technique called QHHT, I've talked about it in other videos, quantum healing hypnosis technique, has put people, tens of thousands of people from all over the world into a deep level of hypnosis where their subconscious mind comes through. And they're kind of like asleep, half awake, and their subconscious mind is coming through. And you can ask very interesting questions. Why did I incarnate this time? What is the relationship with my mom or my dad? Or why did this happen? What was here? What was I meant to learn here? Past life regression, all these different connections. And interestingly enough, through tens of thousands of people, very similar themes came through. They didn't know each other all around the world. But one thing they kept saying is we came here to be a part, like I came here to be a part of the shift in consciousness. I came here to wake up to who I really am. And what happens is many of us have come here to be a part of the shift in consciousness, to wake up to who we are, because in this reality, what it is said is we forget who we are to then remember who we are. That's what makes this reality so hard. According to this 10,000 people plus subconscious mind plus the law of one, pretty much any other Eastern traditional Eastern philosophy or studies of religion, like this has been in our collective consciousness for a long time. that we are eternal spiritual beings living temporary human experiences. We came here to wake up to who we are. Now, one of the things about this reality that is also talked about in Dolores Cannon and even other sources that I've watched before about this, especially the Law of One as well, is that there's a certain control faction in our world where there is a certain level of control that keeps people, in a way, in a certain disempowered state. There's an understanding that when people are in fear and anger, they're much easier to control. There are people that are playing certain parts. Now here's the interesting thing. I'm going to take this a step deeper. That's going to be kind of a mind twist for some people, because a lot of times there's a perspective of, oh, these people are controlling me. I don't like that. What if they're playing a part for us to take our power back? For us to wake up and to go from non-player character to Big Daddy energy. But non-player character, because what it says in the Dolores Cannon and the Law of One and all these other texts is that in a way we forget who we are to remember who we are. We're playing according to this reality. This reality, we have free will, and this veil of forgetfulness is what it's called. And the people in it, whether it's these government systems or the control factions of certain family bloodlines or these conspiracy theories, whatever. What if they're playing a part that is allowing us as a people to wake up? And we are playing our part in taking back our power back. That's why a lot of times I believe people also, they want ETs can we just get free technology that cleans up the oceans and does all this stuff? We always want to be saved. We want someone to save us. When the aliens can come down and save us? We came here to wake up, and we came here to do this from the inside out, to transform our lives. That's what this material I'm talking about, the Law of One, Dolores Cannon, talks about. We came here to forget who we are, to remember who we are. And the powerful part of this is understanding that we didn't come here to be passive bystanders, just watching everything else happening, waiting for the Savior thing to happen, just to be saved. We came here to shift from this disempowered state of letting everything happen to us to then saying, what meaning do I give it? What direction do I want to go in? And what if, in a powerful way, we are able to transcend the puppet masters? Now, NPC is also something that's very often in the gaming world and all that considered to be controlled by the puppet master, controlled by some other character. Most people are, unfortunately, the collective consciousness of our reality is that most people are non-player characters in the sense they're just doing what they're told. They're unconscious of the patterns they live within. They're doing what mom and dad want them to do. They're doing what society deems as normal. They're playing according to the game. And therefore, they are controlled by what we could call the puppet masters. But that's only because they haven't woken up to who they really are. Think of the movie of Free Guy. Have you seen that movie? Great movie to watch with Ryan Reynolds. Where basically, it's a video game, and there's an NPC called Guy. His name's called Guy. And basically, the movie is about him waking up, becoming self-aware, breaking the mold of what he's supposed to do, and then everyone around him becoming self-aware as well, that they're in a game. And then breaking that mold and then saving the world, and that's the movie. But he was a non-player character, NPC, named Guy, who ended up taking his power back and breaking the mold of his script that he was given by the puppet masters. And once he woke up, everyone else started to wake up. What if in reality, that's what we're doing? We came here, experienced a certain level of pressure, woke up through a spiritual awakening, are aware that we are eternal spiritual beings living temporary human experiences. We can start taking life in the direction we choose to put it, breaking the mold of what everyone else wants us to do, knowing everyone's just responding to the energy we're putting out anyways. And as we do that, we then self-aware wake up the people around us, subconsciously, without them even knowing. So when we talk about that, the thing I want to encourage you to do is to break the mold. Be different. You think, feel, and act equal to the reality you're in. I was working a 9-to-5 job selling women's shoes for years. I was thinking equal to working a 9-to-5 job. I was feeling the resistance to doing it, but equal to that 9-to-5 job. And I was taking action by going every day into that job and complaining about how slow it was and all that stuff. But I was thinking, feeling, acting equal to it. I was being that character. But then eventually I took responsibility and I started to take ownership of my energy, my direction, the script, the values that my character, my avatar. We are eternal spiritual beings playing these avatars. These avatars are a way to play the game of separation. My name's Aaron Dowdy, I'm on YouTube. At the deepest fundamental core level, you and I are one. What triggers you and me about each other is what's another aspect of ourself. As we're all mirroring back to each other more of who we are. So, Big Daddy energy. Become more self-aware. Take ownership of your role. Take ownership of the meaning you give to your past. Take ownership of your star role. Stop chasing other people. Stop trying to be the cameo in everyone else's movie, trying to get other people's validation and approval. And begin bringing the energy more inside and direct it where you want to go. Question reality. Question what you're being told. If you want to know what agreements you have, there's a book called The 4 Agreements. It's all about the agreements we have that are in our reality. We've agreed to things. We've obviously agreed to having a 9-to-5 job if someone has a 9-to-5 job. We've agreed to a certain type of relationship if you have a certain type of... You agree to it subconsciously. We agree to the money game if we're playing that game. Become aware of your agreements. And start to think for yourself. Think for yourself. Who do you choose to be? How do you choose to show up in the world? As you start shifting this energy, you will no longer be that of this NPC. Most people are NPCs, non-player characters, because they're just going along the thread of what everyone else wants them to do. It is an energy. This is the time of awakening. Awakening is when you realize this and you start taking ownership. This is what we call leadership or Big Daddy energy, BDE, also known as. But we came here for this at a deep subconscious level through 10,000 plus people all over the world in this deep level of hypnosis has said, this is why we came here, BDE. And really what it is to wake up to who we really are, to stop playing the game of separation in the sense of I'm disempowered, being passive. And then watch the movie Free Guy if you want to know how to do, you literally break the mold. Look at Neo from The Matrix. Neo from The Matrix. He was just a regular guy working a regular 9-to-5 job who hated his life. He was given the pill, the red pill or the blue pill. He had a choice. And eventually he chose the red pill. The blue pill, the comfortability of being an NPC. It's so warm and comfortable to be an NPC. Ooh, I'm in this lukewarm bathtub. It just skin temperature. It feels so good and warm and comfortable. And you're just in that bathtub. There's hair floating around. You've been in there a long time. It's kind of nasty. All you got to do is get out of the bathtub and go where you want to go. But if you get out, it's going to be kind of cold for a second, because you're going to have to get a towel and put it around you and then warm up, and then you're going to be good. But like that little shock, it's kind of scary because it's going to be kind of cold. But once you do it, it's not that big of a deal. Then you go in the direction you want to go in. Most people are with the blue pill just chilling as NPCs, regurgitating whatever they learned. And our society, by the way, breeds non-player characters. Our society has you go to school, shut up, and you're told what to do. Kids are meant to be seen and not heard. These are all little phrases that keep people playing small, keep them in non-player character energy. And that is because society wants you to not cause ripples, wants you to just play it safe, just uphold the system. You get to be the one to decide if you're the cameo in other people's movies or just a clog in the wheel, or do you go in the direction you want to go in? Do you choose your own values? Do you live according to your own moral code? Watch the movie The Matrix, watch the movie Free Guy if you want to know more about this energy. These symbols are in our reality whether we're aware of it or not, but you take your power back. You no longer have to be an NPC. You aren't an NPC unless you go back asleep and you just decide to be passive and just to, you don't like that's what's funny to me. So many people, they have the intellectual ideas. They've watched all the YouTube videos, but they're not actually embodying it. When you embody it, it changes absolutely everything. Now, if you want to, by the way, October, we're going to be doing a 21-day confidence love challenge. This is all about releasing codependency and feeling safe within your own frame of reality, becoming more emotionally available, understanding how to really make this shift into this BDE version of you that is confident, that feels worthy, whole, and complete. If you want to join this, I'm gonna go ahead and link it down below. We normally have 2,000 or 3,000 people join. It creates an energy of itself, and they're very powerful. So join the 21-day Confidence Love Challenge if that resonates with you. And also, there's a meditation for raising your dominant vibration permanently. When you do that, you become more self-aware. You become more in your own frame, and it can completely change your life in a very powerful way. Thousands of us are right now doing this 21-day meditation and committing to it. It changes the collective consciousness of the planet and of ourselves. Do this meditation for 21 days. Read the comments to see what's possible right here.